Alright, what is up YouTube? So today I'm going to be showcasing pure scraps in 2021 post Lightning Overdrive. I know a lot of people are talking about scrap dinos and scrap FTK, scrap this, scrap that. I want to show you what pure scraps can do with the new support, because Scrap Raptor is such a good card. It not only searches a non-tuner scrap monster from your deck to your hand, it also searches the field spell, which is the Scrap Factory. So even if you don't open up with Scrap Factory and you have like Scrap Recycler, which is part of the combo, you can add, Scrap Factory from your deck to your hand and then combo off, give you more extenders and just like, go on with your plays. But I'll be showcasing a few combos. It's kind of like the same combo, but in like different ways how you can play through like hand traps and stuff. So I'll show off the first combo, and then the other three combos are kind of like not necessarily different. For like most of the combo, it's just like kind of playing around hand traps, or just like having a little bit less of cards like Raptor and Factor and so on and so forth. So let's start off with the combo. The main combo is going to be your Scrap Raptor and your Scrap Factory, since Scrap Raptor does trigger your Scrap Factory, and Scrap Factory is going to give you your Scrap Golem, and go on from there. So we'll be showing off the combo. You're gonna go Scrap Factory, Scrap Raptor. Scrap Raptor is gonna destroy itself, and then you're going to use this effect of Scrap Raptor and the Factory. It's always important to do Chainlink to Factory. I mean, it doesn't really matter, but like if you have the Recycler already in hand, then you'll do this as Chainlink 2, just to block the Factory, so you can play around hand traps and stuff like that. But for the most part, Factory is not really that necessary for the combo. It's just going to give you extra bodies on board for something like IP Masquerena, but I'll get into that in a bit. So you're going to resolve the effects. You're going to get the Recycler to the hand, and then you're going to summon the Scrap Golem from your deck to the field, and then you're going to normal summon the Scrap Recycler. Scrap Recycler is going to send the Rose Nyx. That is going to be your extender for the board. You're going to summon a token out on the field, and then you're going to go into the Scrap Link, Scrap Wyvern. This is very, very good support for the deck. Main piece of the combo. If it's not for this combo wouldn't be as good. But yeah, you're going to use the effect of the Scrap Wyvern. Is going to special summon any of the scraps from the graveyard. It doesn't really matter because your Recycler is going to miss timing either way, so you cannot use the effect. So it's probably better for you to target like Scrap Raptor in the grave, because if they do DD Crow it, you can't summon it, and so on and so forth. So if you have something like Succession, which I'll get into in a bit, but yeah, it's probably better to just target the Raptor and just destroy it than Recycler, just because it just plays around hand traps and stuff like that. But either way, continuing on, you summon the Recycler. It doesn't really matter, and then you're gonna summon use the effect of Wyvern to summon another Golem from your deck to your field. You can play like up to like 3 Scrap Golem, but it's not really necessary. I'll get into that in a bit as well. So you're going to pop the field spell, because you do have to pop a card on the field. It could be from your opponent's side or your side of the field, but you have to pop a card after you summon a monster from the deck with the effect of Scrap Wyvern. So now you're going to use the effect of your Scrap Golem, your first one, and then you're going to summon out the Recycler. Recycler is going to use this effect. It's going to send a World Legacy World Crown. This is going to be very important to make the World Chalice link, and that is the World, I think it's called World Key Blade Master Lib. So you're going to use the effect to get your World Legacy Succession. This is a very, very good extender, because it gets your Golem out, and then Golem summons out the Recycler, and then Recycler sends another card from your deck to the graveyard. So it's going to, you're going to use that, and then you're going to summon out the Golem, and then, use the effect, summon out the Recycler, and then use the effect of Recycler to send another machine from your deck to your graveyard. And this is where I'm sending a Gizmek. This is going to be another extender for your plays. And now that you see that I have a Dragon Earth, I have a Rock Earth, and then I have a Machine Earth. Now you're going to see where I'm going with this. I'm going to link off all 3 of them for Curious the Lightsworn Dominion. This card is very, very strong. If you know about this card, you probably know where I'm going with this. It can send any card from your deck to the graveyard. And then it has like other effects that is not really that important, but yeah, you're going to be sending any card from your deck to graveyard. What is that powerful card, you may ask? Is going to send Imperial Order from your deck to the graveyard. Now you're like, oh, why are you sending Imperial Order? This card is so good. You want it in your hand or in your deck or something like that to draw it. Well, we're going to get inside in a bit. We use the effect of Curious when you send the Imperial Order. After it, you're going to have to mill 3. It doesn't really matter what you mill. It actually just doesn't matter. Then you're going to use the effect of the other Scrap Golem to summon out the... It doesn't really matter because you don't have any other machine targets. Probably if you're playing Orcus, you can, like, you know, use the effect of Recycler, summon it, and then send, like, I don't know, Nightmare, and then, you know, do something with that. But yeah, you don't really have any other targets. There's like other machine targets. There's like Cobalt Hedgehog, that's an extender in the graveyard and stuff like that. But like it's not really that important. So I'm just summoning out the Scrap Raptor. Yeah, it really doesn't matter. So then you're going to use the effect of Gizmek. Gizmek is going to banish 8 to summon itself onto the board. And then you're going to, well, I drew a card because I need a discard for I forgot the card. Nightmare Goblin or Nightmare Griffin. Yeah, Nightmare Griffin is going to use this effect. So it is a 2-card combo technically, but you do need a discard, which is why I drew a card. It's not like I drew it. It's just like 2 cards and then like a discard. So it doesn't matter what you discard. So I'm discarding a card, and then I'm going to set the Imperial Order, and then I'm going to draw a card. So whatever, I drew it in perm. Like it could be an extra hand trap or interruption for your opponent. So like that's very good about the draw, and then you get Imperial Order. Obviously, that's just like really good. And then you're going to use the other 2 monsters to go into your IP Masquerena. So looking at this board, you have IP Masquerena, you have the Griffin, you have a bounce with this, or like it shuffles any card into the deck that's on the field, and then you have Imperial Order that stops like all spells. So, and then you have like other cards in your hand. You probably have you're gonna have impermanence. So you draw into like Ash or like a Droll, any hand traps you can have in your hand. So not only do you have something that limits, you know, special summon monsters effects, you have a spin potentially, you have an Apollousa potentially, you have another spin, and then you have an Imperial Order. So you might be looking at this and saying like this is kind of bad, but I would say this is like pretty good, especially because Dark Ruler No More, Forbidden Droplets, Talents, like all these block cards, Shaddoll Fusion, Nadir Servant, all of these power spell cards are getting stopped by Imperial Order. So all you have to do is care about monster effects, and Griffin kind of deals with that, you know, pretty much. And if it doesn't, you have IP Masquerena, you have Lib, and you have Fall Up in your graveyard. You have Gizmek, and then if you top deck another monster, you can go like Scrap Raptor effect, go get Chimera effect, summon another monster on the board, and then, you know, go for game or something like that. Because yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. Even if you're going against a tribe deck that like sets 5, you can go IP Masquerena, link this off, link off Lid, go into access code effect, access code gains counters, and then you're gonna have an earth in your graveyard, you're gonna have a light in your graveyard, and you're gonna have a dark in your graveyard, and you're going to be able to spin a card or like a set trap card on the field. And then you have Imperial Order, even if they have something like Book of Moon or something like that. So this is like a pretty good board, a solid board that plays around a lot. I mean, it's not unbreakable, you know, broken, but it's pretty good for a 2-card combo. So let's get on to the other combo. This is going to be the way to play around Nibiru, because Nibiru is very powerful against this deck. As you've seen, I didn't put up any negates. I put up literally 0 negates besides like Imperial Order. And yeah, so you're going to need a way to play around Nibiru. And the way to play around Nibiru is you're going to basically you're going to do the same combo, but instead of waiting to use your Golem, you're going to use the effect of Golem immediately after you resolve the effect of your Factory and your Raptor. So now you're going to use the effect, summon out the Raptor, and since Raptor is a tuner, you're going to be able to go into Crystron Halka Fibrax, and then Halka Fibrax is going to summon out your Plague Spreader, and then Plague Spreader is going to be another extender for your board. You're going to go into Transcode Talker. It doesn't really matter what it is. It's just good because it's an Earth. So for Curious, you can have it on the field. Just in case, like if you're trying to bluff your opponent to have like Nib, and they don't Nibiru, you can kind of choose to keep Transcoat on the field to be another Earth, but it doesn't really matter. Um, so you can go Plague Spreader effect, and then place any card from your top from your hand onto the top of the deck, and then you're gonna go into your Apollousa, and then you're gonna be able to normal summon your Recycler, and then do the whole combo with that. And then the next combo is going to be the same. It's the same combo, but this is in case you have Gamma, so you don't give them an arrow. Because the problem with the other combo with this combo is that you give them an arrow with Apollousa. Now, you don't want to do that because Griffin is going to restrict them from using special summon monster effects on the field unless they're linked. And because of Apollousa giving them an arrow, they're going to be able to use a monster effect in this zone that Apollousa points to. So this is probably not the optimal play if you have Gamma. So instead, you're going to do the same thing. Go Golem, stress summon the Scrap Raptor from your graveyard, and then you're going to link off into Lambda. Lambda is going to be really good because it's not only going to stop a monster or a hand trap that's going to stop you, like Nibiru and stuff like that, but it's also going to be a body on board if they, like, somewhat for some crazy reason, stop you. And if they don't, it's still another interruption on your board for your opponent's turn. So it's going to be the same combo. You're going to have, Griffin, Order, maybe even IP Masquerade, depending on how many extenders you have in your hand. And then the last combo I want to show off is just the one card Recycler combo with like a set back row, like it could be like Impermanence, it could be like a Dead Prosperity or something like that. It could be like, I don't know, a MST or whatever. So any card you can set. So you're going to normal summon the Recycler. Recycler's effect is going to send the Rosenix. Rosenix effect is going to summon the token, and then you're going to go into your Scrap Wyvern, and then you're going to use the effect of Wyvern after you set your Impermanence or whatever spell card you set. You're going to pop the Recycler and then use the effect of Wyvern. Wyvern is going to summon out the Golem, and then it's going to pop the set card on the field, so you don't have to pop the Wyvern or the Golem. And then you're going to use the effect to summon out your Recycler. Recycler is going to use the effect to summon or send the World Crown. And then you're going to link off into Lib, the World Key Blade Master. And then you're going to use the effect to, set your Succession. And then Succession is going to summon out the Scrap Golem. And then Scrap Golem is going to summon out the Recycler. And then you're going to go in. You can go into a couple of different things after you send with Recycler. You can go into IP Masquerena. You can go into the into the Curious combo, which is fine. But I'm choosing to use the Curious combo because setting Imperial Order is like really good. You're gonna set Imperial Order with the Griffin, but first you're gonna use the effect of Curious. Then you're gonna use the effect of the Gizmek to give your get another monster on board, and then you're gonna go into Griffin after you do that. You're gonna discard a card and then set the Imperial Order, and then you're gonna have like Griffin Imperial Order. This is not like the full combo because you don't have the Scrap Factory to give you another body on board and be a card to pop on the field. So you're gonna have Griffin Imperial Order. It's not that bad. But it's not that good either. But you're probably gonna have like more hand traps in your hand. You're gonna have like Droll, Ash, Imperm, like Bell. Like you can have so many different hand traps in your hand. So this might seem like not that good, but it's kind of like really hard to out. And then you have follow-ups with Gizmek and stuff like that. So let's show off the deck profile. This is the deck profile. It's not really optimal right now. I'm still in like the testing of this deck. Because Lightning Overdrive just came out, and people are still testing their decks as well. So this is like pretty standard. You have the Rosenix, you have the Gizmek, and then you have the Play Spreader Zombie, and the other one of is the World Legacy World Crown. And then for your scrap monsters, you play one Chimera for the follow-up, or if you draw into Rosenix, it's like really bad, so you need another way to get to your Scrap Wyvern. So this is like really good. Scrap Golem, you need two. You could play 3, but it's like really bricky, and there's like ways to put back your golem in the deck with something like Plague Spreader Zombie. So it's fine to play 2, but if you draw one of them, it's whatever. It's not that bad. It's not the end of the world. Then you have so many copies of Scrap Raptor. You have Scrap Raptor, you have Fossil Dig, you have Scrap Yard, you have Product Prosperity. Like, there's so many ways to get to Raptor. And then you have Scrap Recycler that can be searched by Raptor, which can be searched by, all these other spell cards. And then you have, for your spell cards, you have Call by the Grave, Monster Reborn, Terraforming, Drones, and then you have 3 World Legacy, World Success, whatever you call this card. Jesus Christ. And then Scrap Factory, which is also searchable by Raptor, which is also searchable by Fossil Dig and stuff like that. Like, this deck is so consistent. Like, you're going to open up with Factory and Raptor pretty much every game, if not like Recycler Factory or Raptor Recycler. It's like really, really consistent if you really think about it. And then you have ways to stop stuff like Droll and Ash with like stuff like Gamma, Call by the Grave, and stuff like that. You can also play like DD Designator or Exchange if you really wanted to. Like, that can be cool, but I thought overall just having like Gamma and Call by the Grave be able to stop like hand traps. Like, this deck can like pretty much play through hand traps pretty well sometimes. Sometimes it's like really fragile, but for the most part, yeah, it could play around hand traps somewhat. There's ways to play around them. And then for the other cards, you have Imperial Order and Impermanence. And then for the rest of the extra deck, it's just like the same combo pieces, but like other like going second cards, like, Axis Code I didn't show off, Boral Sword I didn't show off. There's like Link Spider and Almirage, which is pretty good. If you like normal summon Recycler and it gets like Imperm, you can go like Almirage and then summon back the Recycler effect, dump a monster, and then go into Scrap Wyvern. So that's really good. Link Spider is probably for like Axis Code, because you probably have like, you could like have a like Rosenix in Graveyard, and you don't want to use any of your other monsters, and you might as well just use like Rosenix to spawn a token, go into Link Spider, and then use your like Unicorn or your Transcode Talker, and the Link Spider go into Axis Code, stuff like that, or go into your Boral Sword as well. So and then the side deck is do the change. It's not really that important. You can play like other hand traps like Bell. You can play like Forbidden Droplets if you really wanted to. You could play like Cosmic for the Shaddoll matchup. So like the deck is very flexible. You can kind of cut cards. Like, you don't have to play 3 Succession if you really wanted to. You don't have to play Monster Reborn. You don't have to play like this. But it's like, these are really good extenders though, which is really important. You can play like other hand traps if you really wanted to. If you feel like you're losing going second, you could play like, there's so many flexible spots in this deck. You could kind of like cut like a 1 Scrap Yard if you really wanted to. Probably like 2 if you really wanted to kind of like play more hand traps or more like staple cards, like Book of Moon and Cosmic and Twin Twisters. So yeah, that's it for the deck profile. I've been rambling on way too much, tripping over my words, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it was informative enough, and hopefully I explained everything well, because this deck, as much as I've been testing this deck, I'm not really like a grandmaster with this deck. I'm not an expert. So if you do have any suggestions, leave it down in the comment section below. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I am out. Peace.